spirit. There's a rather interesting story connected with the going up and the going down in the investigation. After I had partially uncovered the ancient Huna system, I wrote a book about it. It was called Recovering the Ancient Magic and was published in England. It had short life because the edition was bombed out by the Blitz in World War I. But the book got circulating before that time, and an Englishman read it who had had a strange experience, and he wrote to me and told me about it. His name was Reginald Stewart, and as a young man he had heard down in the Berber country in North Africa of a tribe of people who had a natural knowledge of magic. They thought it was natural, but it really was not. He went back into the back country. He found that this was a shepherd tribe, and they had a woman queen. She was the Queen how did he call that? Kwahini. That is what they called her, the Kwahini. Vahini means woman in the Polynesian dialect, so she was really a woman kahuna. And she knew the ancient lore, but she couldn't tell him about it because he was not a blood relative. The result of his manipulation was that he got himself made a blood son, and she had a daughter of 17 who was just about to begin to take her training from the mother as a kahuna in her turn. So the old lady agreed to teach this young Englishman and the daughter at the same time. She started in demonstrating her powers to show them what she could do, and she did some rather amazing things. Then she started to teach them the philosophy. And she started in with the parental spirit, the high self, the superconscious, told them all about that. And then she said, the conscious mind self, that is you, so we don't need to say too much about it, except that it has certain powers. The lessons got that far, but never got down to the subconscious, never got on to the other parts that I had run into that were very valuable and indispensable. But the woman who was teaching them, there was a little war between two other tribes, and they were fighting up and down in the valley, and Stewart and his teacher and the daughter went to look down to watch the battle, and a stray bullet struck the teacher over the heart and killed her. So his chance to learn Huna from this Berber woman was lost. She had told them before her death that the tradition of their tribe was that they had stayed with other tribes, maybe 12 in number, in Egypt to help build the pyramids because they could levitate the rocks to make them move up and lift them by magic. While the others had gone into a far place, she didn't know just where, to preserve the secret lore. When the others had gone, her tribe, for some reason or other, did not move into the Pacific, but perhaps the Red Sea was closed to them by that time. So they were forced to leave. They went up into the mountain countries of North Africa and mixed with what are perhaps the Berber people of today. They might have been the ancestors of the Berbers, I don't know. But in any event, they had preserved this knowledge almost as long as it had been preserved in Hawaii, but not in the code. He had been taught by this woman in French. She spoke French, and he spoke French as well as English. And with a little translation in between, he had been able to get a very good idea of the upper brackets of Huna. I was a little weak on the upper brackets in my research, so I was very glad to have him give me all the information that he had about the high self, the superconscious, the Almakua. In his notes, which he transcribed and kept for years, they were old and yellowed by the time he read my book, he found that some of the words that she had used and which he had been having difficult times to translate were almost pure Tahitian. That seemed to be the nearest to the dialect, nearer than the Hawaiian. The old story of the lost tribes of Israel may be connected in there in some way. I don't remember how many lost tribes there were of Israel, but there were 11 of the Polynesian dialects preserved out in the Pacific and in Madagascar, so they might have been the original people who were supposed to have been lost.